Hi Nina and John, it's Miss Safford. These are your video lessons for today. In terms of math, we practiced our math stories activity from yesterday where we asked how many questions. If you've had a chance to watch that video and do that activity, then you will be all set for today in terms of math. If not, then you might want to head over to Seesaw where you will find the video and the activity for you to do. So this lesson will be our literacy lesson for today. And our literacy lesson for today, we worked on a few different things. We did our drill sounds warm-up, which is going through all of our letter cards, which we'll do together. Then we are going to talk about the ending sounds of words. And I'm going to have you try and figure out what the end sound is and write it on your whiteboard. So your work will need your whiteboard, your marker, and your eraser. And then afterwards, we're going to talk a little bit about how to tell when you're looking at a sentence if it's telling you something or asking you something. Okay, so let's get started. We'll start first with our drill sounds warm-up, and we're going to go through all of our letter cards. Oh. And here's baby echo too. You ready? E, ed, e. C, cat, k. F, fun, W, wind, w. I, itchy, I. D, dog, d. M, man, m. R, rat, N, nut, n. P, pan, p. B, bat, b. S, snakes. G, game, g. T, top, t. J, jug, j. K, kite, k. H, hat, V, van, v. A, apple, a. L, lamp, o. O, octopus, ah. U, up, So now we're going to be talking about our ending sounds of words. We've talked a lot about the beginning of sounds in words, and when we start doing more writing on our own, we're going to need to also notice the ending sounds of words. Eventually, we'll also be working on the middle sounds, but right now our focus has been on the beginning sounds, and now we're going to go to the end sounds. Okay? So what we're going to do is I'm going to say a word, and then you have to write the ending sound of that word, the letter that makes the ending sound in the word, on your whiteboard. I'm not going to write it on at first. I'll wait. I'll give you a few seconds to try and figure out what the sound is, and then I will write it as well. If you did not have the right letter on your board, I will give you a few seconds to erase the letter you did put down and put the correct letter down. And that way we make sure that you're really noticing and hearing those sounds. Okay, so I'm going to give you an example. The example would be is if I said the word map, map. The end sound would be the p sound. Now, I know that the p sound goes with pan, p, pan, p. So I'm going to write a p. A p starts at the plane line, goes all the way down to the worm line, all the way back up to the plane line, and around with a big fat belly to the grass line. P, pan, p. Okay? So that's kind of how you're going to do this activity. And like I said, I will write the correct letter up for you, but I want you to try it on your own first, okay? So the first word that we're going to try is the word bus. Bus. What sound do you hear at the end of bus? Think about what letter goes with that sound and write it on your whiteboard. Bus ends with a S sound, and the S sound goes with the S snakes. So I would write a letter S on my board. That's going to start just below the plane line. You're going to curve up, bump your head on the plane line, curve around, turn around backwards, and go down to the grass line. S snakes, bus. Okay. If you didn't have an S down as your letter for the ending sound of bus, go ahead and change that right now. Okay, let's move on to the next one. The next one is pen. Pen. What sound do you hear at the end of pen? What letter goes with that sound? Go ahead and write that on your board. Pen ends with the N sound, which is the letter N. N starts at the plane line, goes down the grass line, traces back up to the plane line, and over the hill to the grass line. N. If you didn't have an N on for the end sound of pen, take a second and write that down now. I'm going to erase this letter, and now we're going to do the word rat. Rat. What sound do you hear at the end of the word rat? What letter goes with that sound? Take a moment to write that on your board. Rat ends with the T sound, which is the T-top T. We're going to start at the skyline, go down all the way to the grass line. You're going to pick your marker up and you're going to cross it at the plane line. T, T-top T. Rat, rat. We're going to do two more quick ones, okay? The next one is going to be ham. Ham. What letter makes the sound that you can hear at the end of ham? Take a moment and write that on your board. Ham ends with the sound. So an sound goes with the letter M. You're going to start the plane line, go down to the grass line, trace back up to the plane line, over the hill to the grass line, trace back up, over the hill to the grass line. M, man, ham. This next one is going to be probably the hardest letter you'll write today. Totally really hard letter to write. Okay, you ready? The word is ball. Ball. What sound do you hear at the end of ball? What letter makes that sound? Go ahead and write that on your whiteboard. Now, if you had the right sound and the right letter, you'll know that Miss Safford was kind of kidding, because L is actually our easiest letter, and that makes the L sound. So L would start at the skyline, go straight down to the grass line. Okay, it's a really easy letter, but you know I sometimes like to fool you guys. Okay, nice job, everyone. I hope that you were able to hear those ending sounds and put the right letters on your paper or on your board for those sounds. Okay. Now we're also going to talk today about sentences. And we've talked a little bit about sentences in the past, but today we're going to be talking about how you can tell if a sentence is asking you a question or telling you some information. So let's go into our Fundations writing paper here. Okay, whoops. Let's see. Let's close this one out so it's out of my way. Okay, and we're going to go all the way to our sentence frames. So these are our sentence frames. Now, up until now, we haven't used any other punctuation or ending of a sentence other than this thing here. And this, remember, is called a period. And a period tells you when the sentence ends. It lets you know when somebody's thought is over and they're starting a new thought. Okay? The period also tells you that somebody is giving you information or telling you something. Okay? So that's what this means here. This symbol here is also a punctuation or end of a sentence symbol. But this one means something slightly different. Whereas this one means I'm telling you something, this one means I'm asking you something. You may already know this, but this is called a question mark. So question marks are at the end of a question or something that you are asking, like, do you have a dog? That would be a question, and if you were writing that sentence, you would have this symbol at the end of it. If, however, I said, I have a dog, nobody's asking me anything. Instead, I'm giving them information that I have a dog. So in that case, you would use your period. So today we practiced a little bit. I wrote some sentences, and then I had your friends tell me which symbol I needed to use at the end of the sentence. So we'll go ahead and do that right now. So our sentence is it hot today? Now, am I giving you any information? Am I telling you that it's hot? Or am I asking you whether or not it's hot? That's right, I'm asking. So I would use this symbol, the question mark, at the end of my sentence. That would indicate to me that I'm asking something. Is it hot today? So that would be when you would use a question mark. Sorry about that, guys. It's been kind of a long week. Okay. It is hot today. Am I asking you a question or am I telling you something? Well, is there anything that somebody has to answer back to me? Nope, there's nothing that I need for information that I'm trying to get from somebody. So this would be a telling sentence. And I would put the period at the end. It is hot today. Okay? So that's how you use question marks and periods. We didn't spend a lot of time on this because this is still fairly new. So we will spend more time on it a little further in the year. But I wanted to at least introduce those things to you today. After that, after these activities, the rest of your friends worked on their folder work. So if you haven't had a chance to finish your folder work, you could go ahead and do that. Okay. I'm going to post this video and hopefully you'll have a chance to watch it. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend, and I